Hello, I'm on episode number 58 of the TEW 28 Challenge Run. This is going to be not only the go-home episode of SmackDown for the No Mercy pay-per-view this Sunday, but also the episode 4 and last episode of round 1 of the 2020 Mae Young Classic. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into the show. This is going to be a very on-the-whim sort of improvised episode because I haven't actually got the text written out for week 4. But I do have a good gist of what the promos are going to entail. And we start off with, I did forget to leave General Manager of SmackDown Adam Pearce on screen, but he's in the ring with the 2 vacant SmackDown Tag Team titles ahead of the contract signing between Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode against the Usos, where the winner will be the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions at No Mercy. And of course the Usos, they're on the mic, they're like, we're time champions. And we're going to make it 7 at No Mercy when we put these 2 down and lock them in the Uso penitentiary, etc. And Dolph Ziggler and Roode being obnoxious are like, you're old yesterday's news. When it comes to tag teams here on SmackDown, you've been hogging the spotlight for far too long, and it's now time for us to steal the show and prove that we're better than you in every way when we become the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. No brawls. They both sign. It gets quite tense, but then they both leave. Ziggler and Roode bail before the Usos can kick them. Here's a fatal 4-way match between Alexa, Raquel, Xia Brookside, and Peyton Royce. Basically, this is like the match on Raw, the women's tag team title match that's going to be Unforgiven between Dakota and Raquel, the 2 J-Flow teams, and Brandy and Aaliyah. There's going to be a fatal 4-way the night after. It's technically Raquel right now, but they could lose it at Unforgiven, but then it will be the champions defending against Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax, Sugar Rush, and the Iconics. So a singles member from each team is in the match here, and Alexa was the one who scored the pin. She pins Xia with Twisted Bliss. Alexa gets a 52, 45 for Raquel, 36 for Xia, and a 50 for Peyton Royce. Yeah, just nice little preview of this Sunday. Sasha and Bayley have a segment, and they're talking about how, can you believe last week during that interview that Kayla tried to stir the pot and trying to make sure that we weren't on the same page heading into No Mercy. Bayley's like, well, it's obvious the plan will be, doesn't matter who wins, we're gonna take out Shayna and Paige, and then us 2 can fight to see who the better woman really is. And Sasha's like, Bayley, did you not listen? Because, like, we're supposed to keep the title on me, it's my title now, not yours, you've had your run. It's my turn to be the top dog here in the women's division. And Bayley's like, but you see, like, but you lost last week, you're the one who tapped out to Shayna, so maybe it would be better if I was the one to take the title off you. And Sasha's like, oh, whatever, but we know either way one of us will leave with the SmackDown Women's title. Very tense exchange between the Golden Role Models as we head into the main event of No Mercy, which is the fatal 4-way between these 2, Paige and Shayna Baszler, for the SmackDown Women's title. 51 weighted squash match. Jacob Fatu has his first match here on SmackDown. He beats Humberto with the Samoan drop in 6 minutes 6 seconds. Humberto gets a 48 and a 52 for Jacob Fatu. The post-match is where it gets interesting because Lana gets into the ring and I did press the button. Yeah, there we go. Lana gets into the ring and she orders Jacob Fatu to continue the beatdown on Humberto and maybe even Akira Tozawa too if he gets in the way. But then stepping over the top rope like a giant is Big Luchasaurus, the 3rd member of Path of the Dragon. And he gets into a stare down with Jacob Fatu. I think he is taller, but it is 2 big men, but I think he would look down on Fatu. I think he's like a short, stocky, and Luchasaurus is taller. So it would intimidate him that someone bigger than him is staring him down for the first time. And Fatu sort of just looks him up and down and bails. And that will be the kickoff match for No Mercy this Sunday. It will be Jacob Fatu against Luchasaurus, because I didn't have a kickoff match. I did have one scheduled in originally, but I changed my mind and I've pivoted somewhere else. So now it can just be Jacob Fatu and Luchasaurus, because who doesn't love when 2 big men go at it? MVP gets an 86 promo. Oh, I've rated Sami as well, I was going to say. So, VIP Nation come out, and they brag about how Bobby Lashley's the almighty, and how last week was a blip when Shelton and Apollo lost to the Usos in the SmackDown Tag Team title tournament. But now they can put all their eggs in the Bobby Lashley basket, and he's going to make Sami Zayn look like a punk at No Mercy. Sami comes out, and he's like, you see, well, I feel like I can take it to Lashley, and I've got Lashley this Sunday, but there's 3 more of you. One of you face me now that isn't Bobby Lashley to get me warmed up. And then Shelton Benjamin steps ahead. He's the one who takes the match. And then, in a 77, Shelton actually defeats Sami Zayn because Bobby Lashley and the rest of VIP Nation get involved in the numbers game, catches up to Sami. And Sami gets a 77, Shelton a 57. And could this be too much of a hill for Sami Zayn to climb at No Mercy against the almighty Bobby Lashley? Ali is back in his little hacker room, just to remind people that he exists, basically. And he says, I'm always watching. I may have been off the show for a while, that's because I've been deep in doing my hacker business and making sure all at SmackDown is under lock and key and all going according to plan, because it's a bit of chaos over Raw right now. Everyone's brawling every single week. You got fucking people getting smashed with guitars. You've got R-Truth being left out into a pool of blood, and quite frankly, Eve has actually reached out to me to try and figure out who that is, and if I get any spare time and the chance to pop over to Monday Night Raw, I will help her with that quest. But for now, SmackDown is my home, and the truth will always be heard, so be on your best behaviour, or something like that. Very different to actual Ali. They just revealed he was actually the hacker all this time in real life, about 5 months after they dropped it. But he won't actually ever do any hacking stuff. It'll just be, hey, I was the hacker. Anyway, Bianca Belair has her SmackDown debut. She defeats Mandy Rose, KOD in 8 minutes. 46 for Bianca, and a 49 for Mandy. Why did I leave Brian on screen here? My bad. Anyway, we cut to Tucker backstage, and he's sort of just in his locker room. He's not got a match tonight. He's just sort of existing. And he's approached by King Corbin. And Corbin's like, hey, Tucker, I heard last week Braun didn't want your help this Sunday in his match with Keith Lee. And now you're on here by alone. You've turned on your own best friend, your own brother. Your other 2 friends, they're not here this week either. Braun doesn't want you, so you're stuck here, man. You have nothing to do. And Tucker's like, what do you want, Corbin? Corbin said, well, I know you with Braun, when Braun was the Universal Champion, and you had to fend off these pests like Chad Gable and Drew Gulak that little pest Daniel Bryan has as his friends. I just want you to know that as the King and future Universal Champion, if there's anything that you ever want from me, I want you to know I can make that happen. Any monetary gains. And Tucker's like, what are you getting at? And Corbin's just like, think about it. As a king, I can give you whatever you want. So a nice interesting conversation between Corbin and Tucker. 81. I knew this would bang, but I didn't know it would bang this much. Keith Lee has his second match on SmackDown. He has a respectful match with Rey Mysterio, a nice clean friendly bout. Goes 14 minutes, 23 seconds. I had it as an all-out match, and they did indeed go all out. Keith Lee defeats Rey in 14 minutes, 23 with a power slam, or the spirit bomb, whatever. 68 for Big Keith, 79 for Little Rey. And of course, after a match like that, you've got to have a handshake, because they killed it here. And after the respectful handshake, Braun comes up from behind. He takes the fight to Keith Lee. He takes down Rey Mysterio and gives a roar as he stands tall, proving that he may not need the House's help after all, because he's taken the Limitless one down as Rey Mysterio sort of collateral damage ahead of the big meaty matchup at No Mercy. Another 81. Daniel Bryan and Angel Garza team up to take on AJ Styles and King Corbin. And it is the babyfaces, Bryan and Garza, who pick up the win when Daniel Bryan defeats AJ Styles with the running knee. Garza gets a 67, 93 for Bryan, 81 for AJ, and also a 67 for King Corbin, who was off his game, apparently. So a nice little babyface win, and the generic two rivals team up against the other two, main event of SmackDown. The good old GM mode special. But the actual main event segment gets a 99. Roman Reigns comes out. He's got a chair. He pulls the chair out and he takes a seat on it. He has his arms out in the air like, where are you, Bray? You wanted to do this man versus man at No Mercy? We'll come out here one last time and meet me face to face, man to man, before I kick your ass at No Mercy. And then the Funhouse music hits and out he comes. Funhouse Bray's here with his jumper. He's giving waves to the crowd. He's all happy to be here. He's shouting yowie wowie, all sorts. He gets into the ring. He's like, hi, Roman. It's me. Like I said last week, I just wanted to come out here and make sure you get a look at the face of the man who's gonna beat you and turn you into a little puppy at No Mercy. And Roman's like, Bray, cut the crap. We've done this many a times. I don't care if you're wearing a mask, if you're not wearing a mask, if you're wearing a jumper, if you're not wearing a jumper, or if you're wearing a stupid fedora. Me and you, we've been to war many a times. I know how to beat you, Bray. You may know how to beat me, but as you've said, I've changed. The Fiend changes people. This is a new Roman Reigns, more so than you are, because I know deep down you're still that scared little bitch. And then, he said bitch. And then Bray goes to cheap shot Roman. The Roman gives him a couple of punches. And then he goes into the corner, he goes, ooh, ah. And the lights switch off. Ba-boom. I come back on, behind Roman stands the Fiend. Roman doesn't realise the lights are all red, he just doesn't realise. He turns around, he's face to face with the Fiend, who just laughs at him. Then the lights go back off. And they come back on. And Funhouse Bray is back where he was before, which is now behind Roman because he turned around to look at the Fiend. And he turns him around and lays him out with his sister Abigail, and then laughs at him as the show goes off the air. But in 84, an absolutely fantastic episode of SmackDown, and a great go-home show for No Mercy. But now we switch over to the last episode of round 1 of the 2020 Mae Young Classic. And here we are, the last 4 matches, last 8 women to end off round 1 of the 2020 Mae Young Classic. And we start with the biography sort of packages for our first 2 women, those being Dani Jordyn and Hannah Blossom. Which match gets an 18? Dani Jordyn defeats Hannah Blossom in a 44 by pinfall. Dani gets a 24-19 for Hannah Blossom. So Dani Jordyn will advance to round 2 to face... Actually, I don't know. This is the winner of the main event, yeah. Next segment gets a 30, so this is apparently a better promo. We get background on both Ava Valkyrie and Natalia Markova ahead of their first round encounter. And it's Ava Valkyrie who defeats Natalia Markova with the guillotine. 24 for Ava and 29 for Natalia. So, I believe for the first time in round 1, the woman who scored less is actually the one who I given the win to. That's a fun little nod and fun little fact. But Ava Valkyrie will advance to face the winner of this gets a 34. Taya and... Wait. Why has her picture got a black square in the top? Anyway, Taya Valkyrie, Jessica Troy, their little background, we go over Taya's career, of course. John Morrison would be at ringside to watch her get the win in a 36. Taya Valkyrie defeated Jessica Troy in a 10 minutes 11 with a Northern Light suplex. 42 for Taya, 27 for Jessica Troy. And the main event is Gina Biggs, also known as Viperous on the Indies, against Smiley Kylie Ray. In a 19, god damn, I should have put the Taya Valkyrie match on last. I expected better from Kylie, that's why. And I didn't put John Morrison on ringside. They didn't have anyone there they were interested in. But Kylie Ray defeated Gina Biggs in 11 minutes 11 seconds. Super kick. 31 for Kylie, 20 for Gina Biggs. And so ends round 1 of the Mae Young Classic 2020. A show which gets us a 25. I believe they've all got around that, which is shit. But the bracket will be on screen now, showing you the round 2 matches, which will begin next week. But more importantly than that, I'll see you next time for the 2-day pay-per-view extravaganza weekend, starting with Raw branded Unforgiven. See you then.